Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network. Today is April the 3rd, 2025. Here is another daily analysis. Market just went all the way down to 53.82 for S&P 500 daily close. And seems like the sell-off still is continuing to the downside. And probably we're going to see 51 to 5,200, which is going to be this August low, and that would be kind of like the scenario that I'm looking at. Market just is slicing through this 5,400, which is kind of like a very strong, I would say, support there. But market just is slicing down. The panic is everywhere. Like I've seen, like the bearish sentiment is huge, like above 61%. And some people are saying we are seeing the bottom here. I don't think there is going to be the bottom, at least for the short term. We may see some kind of like the bounce because market is pretty oversold, but this market needs to digest itself what's going to happen to the tariffs, because there's going to be tariff kind of like attack from the other countries as well. They're going to come back with some procedures there. You see that the lower low here is the higher low in MACD, higher low in RSI, and also stochastic momentum index is getting into over sold condition, which doesn't mean that we are going to see the reversal. We need to see the sign of reversal in price action. I would say a market can go down, and this is kind of like my favorite area, because if we zoom back here, we will see that this is a nice trend line here since this COVID crash. This is kind of like a market bottom in 2022. And after that, we got a nice rally to new all-time high. So we may see some kind of like the capitulation is coming down. And this is kind of like the sentiment that we are seeing. Whenever we see this price action is forming, we may see another follow through for a day or two. So even in August, we saw like the bounce backing up, but capitulated to the downside. The next day it goes all the way down to take out even the previous low, but sharply bounce back up to its high after just 2 weeks. So we will see how it goes with the market this time. We are not kind of speculating how market is gonna go fast or to the downside or upside. We are kind of like seeing the levels for the future market. Right now, I don't see any kind of like a bounce, at least for the short term. We may see some kind of like the bounce because market is heading to this pivot. But this pivot actually with this candle, I don't see any kind of like the pattern to the upside. We see that 2.87% to the downside for S&P, 159 for a day with a huge volume. Today volume was huge. And I'm going to just let you know what's happening to the volume. Let me just double check the volume again, because it was like crazy when I look at it. 124 million so far for SPY traded. And that is a lot of volume. And seems like this volume and this volume didn't work out. We are kind of like seeing the capitulation phase to the downside. Potentially this area could be a very nice scenario for the market for a sharp bounce to the upside. And that would be kind of like a bounce. I'm not expecting this is happening for a new rally to new all-time high. But right now, based on the formation, lots of damage has been done to the charts, and we need to be realistic. However, there are lots of good opportunities in the market, individual names. We're going to get to those ones. Right now, I don't see kind of like the bounce period for the short term. Nasdaq is the same. Now is getting close to these boxes. So 17,000 to 18,000, that's the area that I'm looking at potentially for the next 2 days, which is going to be Thursday, Friday. We may see some kind of like the capitulation to the August low and market just rebounding to the upside. Dow is the same, 3% to the upside, downside. We just got to the lower low here, and also look at the MACD here, strong divergence here, another kind of like a strong divergence in RSI, and also in stochastic momentum index. We are seeing the same thing here, but Dow needs to go further below before a reversal. That would give us the ideal scenario for the market. Right now, everyone is talking about a recession or something like that. Still, I don't think this is going to be the recession. If it comes to the recession, it came very, very early, and everyone is forecasting this. So this is going to be one example in the history that everyone is forecasting media headlines, everything, and coming along to the real scenario. I don't think that's going to be the real recession. The real recession is coming when economy, when stock market growth, everything goes very slow, which is gonna come in next few years, not this year, because still we're just at the announcement of the tariffs yesterday. Gold adjust getting back to the downside after a nice rally to the upside, hit a new all-time high today, especially future market going all the way down to 3,058, which is very, very interesting level and sharply bounce back up. So gold still, we may see some kind of like a consolidation before the next rally or potentially a sharp rally to 32 to 3,300. Right now, I would say gold is in kind of like a confusion because of this name, silver. Silver goes down, industrial metal just going down, and um, silver just hammering 6% to the downside. Still, we are above this pivot and we are kind of like a testing this pivot. Still, we are kind of like in this higher high, higher low. And when we see something like this, we can see some kind of like capitulation to the downside, to the trend line, and then getting back to the upside. We'll see how it goes. But if silver continues to the downside, I would say gold market can go down as well. But precious metals stocks actually did very well today compared to the other names. Crude just slaughtered 5% to the downside, going all the way down to 65. Right now, close above 66. But as I said before, when crude is negative, this means the economy is going to slowing down, the growth is going to slowing down, and I don't know if it's going to be favorable for the energy stocks, which was obviously not today. We will go through those ones and we will see that 10%, some of them 15% to the downside today. Very crazy market today. And even some individual names like they were kind of like producing their products in South Asian countries like Estee Lauder. You see that the company actually just slaughtered today, 15% to the downside. And this is crazy. Like Estee Lauder just going all the way down to level of 2012. So this is going to be a good buying opportunity, but if you want to say this is the bottom, lots of people try to catch the bottom here. We had a nice rebound, but going to the lower low. And right now it's just 58, which is very, very interesting level to buy because previously, just in um, 2022, I would say 3 years ago, it was pretty close to 400. Right now it's at 59. This is insane. This is crazy. And if you just look at the Nike, which is impacted by Vietnam um, um, tariffs, so you see that Nike is just capitulating to the downside. Today, just going down all the way to $55. Even it goes below COVID crash. So COVID actually was not that harmful for Nike. Seems like tariffs actually are going to be more harmful because COVID is going to be just fast. And everyone is saying, okay, still people can buy shoes, but right now they don't afford to buy shoes. And these tariffs actually killed the strategy for the company. It's just capitulating to the downside. Potentially, it's going to be the lower low, at least for short term. And that would be a fantastic buying opportunity for the longer term. So this is a weekly chart for Nike. Nike goes all the way down to 2017 level. And this is kind of like the great consolidation before the next rally to the upside. So 47 to 57, this is the area that I was looking for Nike. And I was saying probably it's not going to happen, Ali. You're so pessimistic, but seems like it's just happening today. And it's just going all the way down. So we will see how it goes. Right now, I would say geopolitical tensions is going to escalating as well. So it's not going to be just tariffs. So pressure is coming back to the market with some geopolitical tensions in Middle East especially. And that's going to impact the crude. All right, let's move on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin just hold up pretty nicely today. Actually, no one cares about Bitcoin price today, so that's why it's just forming a doji bar. After yesterday's sell-off, today was kind of like a doji bar, not a bad session for Bitcoin. If you go to Ethereum, Ethereum is the same, kind of like a positive even candle, 1600, 1700, which is kind of like telling us something that potentially market is going to show some bottom in some assets, not all. Bond yield just crashing to the downside. This means Federal Reserve is going to bring the rate down, even if they don't say so. This chart tells me that more rate cuts are coming down the road if Federal Reserve make a decision that, okay, tariffs are is going to just put inflationary pressure on the consumers staples, even consumer discretionary, and some companies actually are not going to be profitable as like before. So they're going to just bring the rate down, which is going to be more inflationary, but this is totally different. Uh, so 3.69% right now bond yield, and this tells us that the bond is going to go higher, which happened. So TLT just getting back to the upside today, 92, and this bull flag is about to trigger potentially for a nice rally to 100 to 103. So we'll see how it goes with Treasury. VIX just is spiking up after this small bull flag. We are going to see VIX close above $30, which is a strong, and I would say VIX still can go higher to 38. And that's going to be the maximum target that I have. I don't think VIX is going to just have a spike because today panic was huge and VIX just go to 30 level, which is kind of like a surprising to me. I thought that VIX is going to have like some spike like this, but it didn't. So potentially we're going to see market is going to digest its sentiment. And VIX, even if it goes higher to 38, take a look at it. See if it rejected to the downside, that would be kind of like the scenario that we are seeing from the stock market. Dixie just capitulated to the downside, as I said, 101 to 100. So Dixie is just crashing to the downside along with yield. And this means the weaker dollar is coming, as I said before. And I don't think Dixie is going to go back again to these highs. Apple, just the technology name going down pretty close to this demand area, which is a very, very nice demand area for Apple. So we're kind of like looking for that one to buy. Amazon just heading down, breaking through this trend line, but we need to see some kind of like a reversal for Amazon. This is not a good pattern for Amazon after kind of like a long-term Amazon just going down. This is 2023 bottom. Amazon just breaking through for the first time since 2023. So we'll see how it goes. Meta just going below its trend line. This is a long-term trend line since 2000, I would say 20. Yes. And Meta just breaking through with a just high gap here. We may see some kind of like a gap fill, gap close for a good buy case to the downside. So we will see. But Meta obviously is on sale right now. And whenever Meta goes on sale, it's going to go very bad. So look at the history behind that. Microsoft, this is one of the techie names that try to hold itself, even it goes to positive territory for short term or for a short period of time today for half an hour or so. But Microsoft is still holding up this demand area because it was oversold already. Microsoft didn't go anywhere since 2023. Right now, we are just getting back to 2 years ago. Google just going down, sharply gap down, and then going down, still holding up this pivot. But I would say Google can go down to 139 to 146. I'm not sure if Google is going to just impact by tariffs. How? I don't know. So put your comments down there if you know that already, how it's going to impact. But right now, Google is just like the other names going down. However, compared to the other indexes, compared to the other names, actually, this one hold very nicely. Netflix just going down and then getting back to the upside. And people are saying why Netflix is going to impact, because it's going to sell everything is in US. So it's not going to just a huge impact on Netflix. Right now, Netflix holding up itself. Tesla, it was a negative, but not that bad, holding up to 67. I would say news from Tesla and Elon is going away, which is favorable for Tesla investors and traders, because as soon as Elon got into admin, so Tesla crashed to the downside by 50% or even more than that. Right now, the news from Elon and Tesla and those stuff actually just fading away. Tariffs is everywhere. Headlines actually are occupied by tariff news. Everyone is talking about that. So that's why Tesla doesn't impact it a lot, just because it's one of those US based company that they have all the production here. At least in US, they don't impact it by tariffs, but in China, in the other countries, if they want to sell, they're going to just sell more, and which is going to be less competitive to the other um, or I should say more competitive to the other brands, which is going to be bad for Tesla, right? Um, Semiconductors actually hugely slaughtered today. SMH just going down below this trend line here. It can go even lower. I would say semis, if this one continues, they can just going all the way down and slaughter to this level. And because below this, there is no substantial level that I see here for semis. So the strong one is here, somewhere around here. So it can go even another $20 lower. Stocks already just going all the way down to this area. So if it doesn't go back up, I would say these names can just go slaughter to the downside more. More downside is coming. Taiwan Semiconductor is just going down to this pivotal point, which is September. But August, look at that. So Taiwan can go down all the way to the August low, or even middle of this wide range bar, which is going to be 148 before a reversal. Right now, Taiwan and the other South Asian countries, they're kind of like impacted by tariffs, and that's why this one is heading down. AMD is the same. So the other names actually they need to send their product to Taiwan TSMC. Who's the builder for semis? TSMC in Taiwan, right? So this one as well, just slaughtering down, still in this wide range bar, weekly demand area here. But this is the one that I'm talking. But if it goes down, it can go lower to $80. So this is a strong bottom information here for AMD. If it doesn't hold, it's going to be very bad for AMD. NVIDIA just capitulated today, but after hours, it just snapped back up. I would say NVIDIA still can go to 76 to 96, or even 76 to 86, which is going to be huge demand area for NVIDIA. Right now, I would say this name is impacted by lots of tariff news. Everything is designed and everything is kind of like a formed in US. Not everything, but most of them. But whatever they're gonna sell is gonna be outside of the US, and that's a lot. Texas Instrument. This is purely US based company. Look at the name. Everything plant is in Texas. But look at this. This is capitulated to the downside. So 164. Lam Research capitulated to the downside. And this is very bad for Lam Research because it's heading down to 57 to 67. If it can't go above this, I would say Lam is in a very big trouble, because this rejection 92 going down, this is kind of like a rubber band. It can go lower to 55, 60, and that would be kind of like a very, very sharp sell-off for Lam Research. XLF obviously breaking through this trend line. If it take out this pivotal point, this is a typical head and shoulder at the top, very bearish. It can go all the way down to $40. KBE, lower, 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 high. Look at the gap here and also sharp sell-off. It can go lower to 45 to 46. KRE, the same pattern, it's just going down even after hours. It took more hit. So 50, 90 after hours. There are lots of support here, but look at that, 48, 46. This is a lot of lower than this. So you see that how tariffs actually, how news actually are going to impact the market. This is going to be valuable name. JP Morgan, look at that. So former uh, market leader is just going down, and it's just going down to this level, 220. If it goes below 220, that would be a very sharp sell-off, I would say, to the lower low, because look at this. So this trend line is broken. This trend line is broken, and right now it's just forming a head and shoulder here, or also QM pattern, I should say, at the top. And this is very bearish. It can go all the way down to this area to 200 level, which is going to be another 10-15% to the downside. Goldman Sachs already formed a QM pattern to the downside. This one can go all the way down to 460. Bank of America, the same pattern. The demand area is 32 to 35. Wells Fargo is the same pattern, QM pattern form. All of them are the same, like they're just forming a very bearish pattern. GDX, this is pretty nice. Gap down, going back all the way to 45 and hold above it, which is nice. GDXJ, the same pattern, is just forming a very nice, just shakeout low, getting back to the upside. Gold miners actually were kind of like a rocket start for today, along with Coca-Cola, along with PepsiCo, along with Lockheed Martin. They were kind of like doing well today. AEM, Agnico Eagle going up, Newmont going up, Gold Barrick, look at the gap and then going back up. So it's huge actually gain for Gold Barrick today. And I would say gold miners, they're kind of like forming a very nice scenario to the upside. They need to have better formation next days. So this means probably silver is gonna just show better. I don't know. So we'll see. XLE, oh boy, this is ugly. So look at the capitulation. Just gap down, continuing selling pressure going all the way down to 86. From where? From 93. So this is huge, like more than 10% to the downside. Exxon, the same pattern here. It was kind of like a build-up structure to get back to new all-time high. But look what happened to Exxon. It just capitulated like a $6 going down today. Crazy move. Chevron, the same pattern, just going down. I thought that Chevron is going to test 160 before getting back to the upside, but today price action is just going deeper, overshoot to the downside 156. So we'll see how it goes next days. But I would say this tariff is a lot. It's a lot of actually pressure putting on the market. So we'll see how it goes. As you know, there are lots of opportunities in a downside or upside, but this is very painful for those ones who are just having long position. I have long position. My portfolio was not good at all today, but I'm kind of like, as I said, I'm kind of like a discipline for my trades. I'm rebalancing my portfolio, and that's why I took like a less than market today. All right, folks, have a fantastic evening. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.